Hi guys, this is Jennifer. Let's get to talking about writing nasty reviews. Before you guys get on their website and write a nasty review about a business, like a restaurant or a movie theater, a cosmetic surgeon, or whatever it may be, if you went to a clothing store to buy something, or any type of experience at a business where you were not satisfied with the service that they gave you, how did you feel? And were you just ready and you couldn't wait to go on their website and write something about it to let others know? You kind of do it out of anger, but you're just like, I can't believe I was treated that way. I can't believe I paid that much money for that type of service. You can't believe that, they charge you that much for the type of quality that they gave you. It's just ridiculous, and you want to let others know not to go to the same place in order to avoid the bad experience that you have. Well, before you do that, let me just hear me out, because I have a story to tell. And listen to my story, because I've gone through the same thing, and hopefully shine some light on the situation, help you navigate the situation to where it's going to bring better outcomes, okay, for you and for the business owner. Okay, take a break and pause for a minute and hear me out, okay? So this video is not about ignoring, bad experiences or bad services, okay? It's about thinking twice before putting someone's livelihood on blast. Because once it's out there, it's out there. Like, you cannot take it back, okay? And I want you to have a look at a bigger picture, okay? So you have to take a look and consider the bigger picture in all of this. And I'm going to share a personal experience that I've had with my surgeon that did my plastic surgery, to show you, how it's changed me, and how it completely changed the way I look at online reviews. And that's a story that I think you need to hear. You know that saying, words can build or destroy? Well, it is true. The words we write in reviews don't just vanish after we hit post. They linger and linger on forever. They're seen by countless others and can have ripple effects that we never intended. So let's break this down. Like, what happens when we write that nasty review out of frustration and anger? And more importantly, how can we do better as a consumer? Okay? Because even for YouTube creators right now, every time we get a nasty comment or something, right? It's kind of like the same thing. It's like, they come into our channel, which is like our home, and then just give this really bad comment, right? It's not something that we look forward to or feel good about. Let me tell you a story about a time I got it wrong. Years ago, I had 2 cosmetic surgeries. I got an eyelid surgery, get this double eyelid. Before, I had hooded eyelids, and I'm gonna post some pictures for you to see before. And I also did a rhinoplasty, which is a nose surgery. And so I took 2 weeks off from work for these procedures. Fully expecting to come back looking and feeling like gorgeous, amazing, right? Like everybody. All we think about is the positive stuff that could happen. But we never prepare ourselves for the what ifs. What if it doesn't work out the way we planned? What if my eyes don't look as good? Right? What if I come out getting even smaller eyes or something? But something went wrong, due to poor communication on both ends, on my part and on my surgeon's part. I didn't communicate clearly because I was I felt like he understood what I wanted. And so I didn't feel the need to explain more or communicate further. And he didn't ask any further questions as well. So it was okay, good. So it's going to cost this much, and that's it. So then both of us, he performed. So what happened was, I went in, I took 2 weeks off from my work, only 2 weeks. And here I was wanting really minimal surgeries, not even surgeries even, just non-incisional things that could be done. Or if it was incisional, I want it to be closed, which means no opening up anything on my face. If it was closed, it would be let's say for my nose job, they would have had to go underneath my nose and do the surgery that way, not have to cut it open like what actually happened. So it went from me being engaged, getting married in 6 months. Then I'm all excited, right? I'm all excited. I want to look a little better for my wedding day because I never felt good about myself. And so I got the surgeries thinking that I'd be all healed in a couple weeks. Because you see all those commercials, they tell you, if you have surgeries, they can heal so fast in a week. Even like if you have a boob job, you could heal it within a week. Well, because of poor communication, I didn't tell him exactly which techniques to use because I was just like, oh, maybe he knows what techniques to give me, because if I only have 2 weeks and I'm getting married in 6 months, I have to go back to work in 2 weeks. Of course, I don't want to look like I got hit by a car. So I didn't really tell him like, hey, don't cut anything. Just do the minimal and make it look as natural as possible. I didn't tell him that because I assumed that he would know. I came back to work. So he ended up doing incisional, meaning he had he made incisions, cutting, when I wanted non-cutting, okay? And they were open surgeries, meaning like instead of going inside the nose, he went outside and cut the outside and opened it all up. And so this type of surgery requires a lot more healing time, requires a lot more work, it's more expensive. He actually used cartilage for my ear, for my nose tip, which I didn't even want a new nose tip. I wanted just to cut the the nostrils. I just wanted to cut the nostrils, sew it back in and make it smaller. And then for the middle part, like the bridge, for him to shave it to make it smaller, and that was it. I ended up with a whole new nose tip. So, and my eyes, I just wanted the non-incisional where they do the threading. So they use the threading to just sew your skin together, and that will form the little eyelid, the fold that makes the eye look bigger. And instead of doing that, he actually cut the eyelid open, right? Removed like fat in there from my eyes. When the 2 weeks came for me to go back to work, I looked like I got hit by a car. I might as well go back to the hospital and stay there because I was so swollen, honestly. It was so scary to look at myself. And mind you, I work in retail, so everybody saw my face. And this was not during the COVID era where I could wear a face mask. I had to bear it all. And people were looking at me like, oh my God, like they knew I had surgery, but they just didn't want to say it. They were just giving me the looks. God, look at this natural lighting. Isn't that beautiful? The sun just goes in and out, and so I'm getting all types of lighting. Anyway, so when I came out to work, I was still super swollen with like a huge scar on my nose where he cut it. And that was like the thing that got me the most, because with the eyelid and stuff, it's like my eye fold. So like there has to be a line there. Like even if there's a scar, it's normal because there's usually a line there. But in between my nose, there was like a huge scar. And I was just furious. Like I was just so sad and mad at the same time. I felt betrayed because I was like, I thought like he had completely ruined my face, because I ended up getting a lot more than what I asked for. Supposedly, like I knew I should have gone in more detail, drew out exactly what I wanted and what techniques to use, but I didn't do that. And so I was just furious, mad at him, and I blamed him like for ruining my life, because like I was getting all these stares from work. Like honestly, people, they didn't do anything, but the stares really showed me a sign of just disgust. And I felt like a monster for a while. Now, the doctor, when I came for the stitch removal and everything, I was just crying. One time at one of my appointments, they had to actually call the cops in because I was just bawling in his office. I wouldn't let him go. He had other patients that he had to see. And I was just like, you destroyed my face. You disfigured my face. I look deformed, blah, blah, blah. And he was telling me like, there were other patients that did the same thing, but it's because right now, like I am healing, and he understands like why I'm feeling this way, and I just need to wait. Like give it 6 months, and 6 months came. Then it was a year. Like a year came by, and mind you, I was still. I guess my face has really good elasticity, so the skin was super tight. Like honestly, I would pull my eyes, because right here, because he cut the skin took fat out and then tightened it and sew it back up to where like it felt super tight to where my eyes, I don't know. Instead of feeling like I had bigger eyes, I felt like my eyes were just constricted, like smaller. So I would just pull like my eyes, like pull my face like this so that the skin would stretch. And my nose as well. It felt like so tight and stiff for the longest time. Like I didn't even like touch my nose for the longest time. But now, I mean, look, because it's made of my cartilage, so it's like my own, you know. It's really cool. So, I mean, but for the longest time, like I'm saying, 6 months came and my wedding day came. I had to cancel it, and I couldn't really tell anybody. At this time, I'm like in hiding. I'm in hiding from all my friends, from all of my coworkers. Well, coworkers, I couldn't hide from them. But like I knew they knew, they just didn't want to say anything. Like they knew, oh, this girl got some type of surgery going on, but she's just not telling us. Right? So I'm just like quiet. It's like they know, I know they know, but they're not saying anything because they're being polite, and I really appreciate them for that. You know, they were really nice to me because at that time I wasn't gonna be able to deal with that either. Like if I was getting the same looks from my coworkers, I probably wouldn't have been able to deal with that. And so I had to cancel my wedding. I didn't really tell anybody. So 6 months came. The 6 months came, and I had to tell. 6 months came by, and I had to cancel my wedding without telling my family members why. Because I was in hiding at this point. I was hiding from my friends. I was hiding from my family. I didn't want to see anybody. This really affected my life because I canceled my own wedding for this. The whole thing that's happening to me now is probably because maybe the community wants me to live authentically as myself and stop being afraid to be who I am. Because of this whole looks thing, I had canceled my own wedding. I was in hiding from people for like years because I was like, my life's over. I look deformed. I feel like super deformed. I don't know, but every time I look in the mirror, it was like a lot of people might feel that I felt super deformed. Now my surgeon had offered, his assistant offered to give me a $4,000 refund. Now together I paid how much was it, like maybe $6,500 and another $3,000 something, right? So total of like $9,000 whatever. And so the refund of $4,000 was almost half. I refused that because I was so mad. He also offered a revision surgery for my nose. He said that he did his best for my eyes, and like after years, I think my eyes, yeah, they look okay, right? They look really good. Of course, my first thing I did, I gathered all my thoughts. I had so many things to say at this point, right? About how dissatisfied, how angry I was, how furious I was, how he destroyed my life, blah, blah, blah. And I just had to go online, and I just want to let the whole world know what this doctor did to me. At that point, that's all I worried about. I didn't care about fixing it. I didn't care about waiting for the results. I'd waited long enough. And I don't care about the money at this point. I told him, I don't care about the money. You should not be working as a doctor, I said. And gosh, I wish I could go back in time and change the way I reacted. So I refused that and refused the revision surgery. After this, I spent my time just looking around for people looking around for doctors that could fix or do a revision for me, for my nose, especially my nose. My eyes, I could have left it, I don't care. But the only doctors that would do the revision were the doctors in Korea. But it cost like a lot, like $12,000. Plus I have to drive over there. I have to fly over there, and I didn't have enough time off. You work in retail, you're gonna get like 2 weeks off for the whole year. You don't get to pick how long to go on vacation. Even after working for a while, I still got like 2 weeks off. And I already used it for this one. And then I didn't want to like go to Korea, waste all this money. And then what if it doesn't work out again? And what if, there are a lot of risks. You could die from these surgeries too. So I even went to Vietnam. When I went on my vacation, I went to Vietnam. I had a consultation. The doctor said, this scar is not that bad. But, you could still see it. There are people, like when I did the consultation with the doctors in Korea, they said, well, this is really bad. Like, this scar should not be showing like that, right? And all this and that. But then I went to Vietnam, and the doctor over there said, well, this scar is not really that bad. And if I not wear makeup, if I just let my skin breathe and wear my face naturally, the scar would actually blend in with my skin. And eventually, if I let it all, exposed to the sun, they'll all be in one shade after a while, over time, and then that'll make it harder to even notice it's there, which is true. Like, looking back, it is true. Like, right now, if I don't wear makeup, you could barely tell that the scars there. Like, in Vietnam, they said they're not gonna do it because, first of all, what they could do is, if they take it out, it's not gonna look good because I'll still have the scar, and then there'll be loose skin. Plus, it's my own cartilage. It's not a good idea to take it out because it's like a part of me anyways already. And if they did anything there, they would have to put in a bigger nose bridge. That way it's going to stretch the skin and stretch that area where the scar is, to where like the skin's gonna like stretch out and you won't see the scar. And they're like, well, if you can't even deal with a tip your size right now, if that's tight already, imagine if they put one that's bigger to stretch the skin even more. It's not gonna be comfortable for you. So they refused to do it. So I never ended up like doing it at all. Like, I just left it, and this is the way it is. And even though it's gotten better and better, and I felt more confident in myself and have been able to accomplish a lot, I never went back to update my review. Now, I did reviews on like Yelp and Google and stuff like that. I never really thought about like what my review could do. So by choosing to write like a nasty review and severing ties, so I cut ties with the doctor, my surgeon, I ended up like with nothing. Like, I didn't get the refund, and I didn't get a revision surgery. Even years later, when my face finally healed, I did not update my review, which would have made like a positive impact on the business. So all those years that I didn't go to update my review, it might have hurt the business in some way that I never thought about, right? And plus, I never took the time to realize that cosmetic surgery results may vary, and you'll never get 100% exactly what you asked for. Like, try to work with the other party in reaching the best solution for both. Always try to make a friend and a partner instead of creating enemies for ourselves. And this really, like, when everything's happening to me, like right now I'm being punished for being a bad person and all that, it kind of shows, like, because I burned many bridges in my life, instead of working things out with these people, I chose to just walk away and end the relationship and end on bad terms, instead of just working it out and keeping that communication, and that, like, even if we don't hang out anymore, whatever, like, it's always good to end on good terms, so that we can coexist in the same world without hate, without any animosity. So that's what I failed to do. Now, I cut ties with my doctor, and not only I didn't remove my review, like, he will always hate me, and he has a family too. He has a life to support, right? But I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about myself, me, myself, and I. And I didn't give him a chance to fix the situation, which, if you think about it, regarding anything, any business, let's say you went to eat at a restaurant and the food was horrible, the service was bad, like, in your opinion. But then think about it, there are people who like the food. Like, maybe it's not to your liking. Maybe it doesn't suit you that well. Or maybe that day someone had a bad day, and maybe that's why you got a bad service. Who knows? Or maybe you're just difficult, like a difficult person to please. Some are, okay? So before you write that review, keep listening to what's going on with me and why I'm paying for my bad karma right now. So here's the thing. Like, years later, I found out my body just heals super slow. It just heals so slow that it's not typical at all of any of the healing process that other people experience. So, like, most people, they are able to heal a lot faster. And see, I didn't know that about my body. And so, instead of like blaming the doctor, I should have been patient enough to wait and let him help me, like, work together with him as a team to resolve the issue, instead of choosing to cut ties and then end up with nothing. Now, the swelling and the scars that made me so upset actually resolved with time. So they did get better. Like as you can see, you can't really see any scars. My eyes are pretty even, but after I first had my surgery, they did not look even. One looked bigger than the other, but as you can see, they are pretty even, right? And the scar is still there on my nose, but it's not super visible. And like I said, if I were to go without makeup, it will naturally blend in with my skin, so to speak. And I didn't give my doctor a fair chance. Like I didn't give him a fair chance at all, because I didn't have any patience. And instead of working with him to fix the issue, I shut him out and publicly criticized his work, which would have negatively affected his business. And how many people missed out on a talented surgeon who made an honest mistake? And how much did my words impact his business and his ability to support his family? Now, when I was, yelling and screaming in his office, I didn't realize how it affected him at that time, because he would have to really stay calm, maintain his composure so that he can continue to do his work. But I was just crying because I was really, really scared, because who knows, and at that time it felt so tight. Like I had pain at the time too, so that's one of the reasons why I continued to act that way. But the whole thing is this is not just about me or my own story. I know that all of us have a story to tell, right? We all have a story to tell. It's all about us, all of us, and how we choose to handle our frustrations in an undesirable situation that we are forced to, in difficult situations that we are forced to handle, or we are placed in, or that we find ourselves in. Writing a nasty review might feel good in the moment, at that very moment, but it can have lasting consequences, not just for the business, but for ourselves. Because when we post something vengeful or angry, we're not just airing our grievances here, our frustrations and anger, but we're showing others that we're quick to attack. Okay, so it's we have no self-control and no filter. We're quick to judge, quick to attack, and maybe even unwilling to find solutions. So we're closing ourselves off to solutions. We're closing ourselves to the kindness of others to help us resolve the issue, right? And we just want to lash out and not care about anything else but ourselves, so that we have no self-control regarding how we feel. So what can we do instead? Here are a few steps to handle dissatisfaction without jumping straight to writing a satisfying negative review. Temporarily satisfying, that is. Okay, so the first thing you should do is address the issue in real time. If you're at a restaurant and your food isn't right, politely talk to the server. Talk to your server and give them a chance to fix it. Most businesses genuinely want to make things right, because they want to stay. They want to be able to make a living and serve their customers for a long time. They're not there wanting to fail. They're not there wanting just to ruin or give you a bad experience and send you out your way. How are they going to support their family if they have that type of mindset? Just speak to the person. Speak to whoever it is. Speak to the other party regarding the issue. In my case, if I was not satisfied, I should have remained calm, listened to the doctor, and wait, no matter if it's taken longer than the usual time. Because like I said, you never know when it could be you that's determining what's happening to you. For me, it was my body, how slow it heals, and that's why I was in that situation. Now, if I allowed more time for my body to heal, I would have known that it's not the doctor's fault, right? And like I said, I blame him because he did more than I asked. But then it was both of us not communicating effectively. And then 2, reach out to the business directly. So if you're unable to resolve it there and then, at that very moment, reach out to them directly. And if that issue isn't resolved during your visit, contact the owner or the manager privately. Okay, so reaching out to the business. So then if you're at the restaurant and it's not resolved at the restaurant, if you ask the server for help and it's still not resolved, go before you write that nasty review, reach out to the business directly. give them a chance and contact the owner or the manager directly, privately. You'd be surprised how often they're willing to go above and beyond to fix the problem. So a lot of these businesses and the owners and managers, if you reach out to them directly before giving a bad review and letting them know what happened, they are more than willing to give you a refund, let you have another, provide you with another experience that will be more reflective of what they strive for. So one that will be a satisfying experience. And then number 3, sleep on it. Before you write a nasty review out of anger, sleep on it. Think about it. Don't write a review when you're angry. Wait a day or 2, a week. Now this gives you time to cool down and see things from a more balanced perspective. What could I have done better? So it lets you see things from many points of view. And you might be able to see where you are at fault in the whole situation. 4 is be constructive. Be constructive, meaning if you decide to write a review, make it constructive feedback. So focus on providing constructive feedback. Now, instead of saying this place is awful, don't go here, try something like the food was undercooked, but the staff was kind and offered to fix it. I hope they improve their kitchen processes. So there is a way of saying things where it is constructive feedback instead of negative criticism. 5, celebrate the good. Always remember that, you know how everybody are just ready. All this time they go to whatever places, they have a good experience, right? All of us, we focus on the negative. It's we go to so many good places, yet we don't have the same urgency when it comes to the review. Why are we ready to just write that bad review, but we don't have the same urgency when it comes to an awesome experience that we've had? Why don't we jump on it and just start writing out good review when we're feeling really happy, really satisfied with the service? Why don't we give it the same attention and urgency that we give to a negative experience? So try to focus on the positive experiences, as well. So celebrate the good. Let's be real, we're so quick to post about bad experiences, right? But we don't show the same urgency when we have great ones. If you enjoyed your meal or had a fantastic day at the spa, take a few moments to write a glowing review. Businesses need positive feedback to thrive. So next time you write a review, focus on the positive experiences. Give that urgency as well. Learn to celebrate your good experiences because businesses need that to thrive and to do better. Remember that if you have to do a review, make sure it is constructive feedback. And remember to always update your review. This is where I failed to do in terms of my review. This is where what I failed to do. So I failed to update my review, even though I got better years later. Like I said, I look pretty good, right? I like my results, and I failed to update my review. Now, if a business addresses your concerns and improves their service, go back and update your review to reflect that. It's only fair to give credit where it's due. I should have gone back as soon as things got better. I should have gone back and update my review, or better off just remove it, right? Because if the results are looking good, why leave it on there? But I never even thought about doing that. Even had that thought in my mind to go and do that. I don't know. Thinking back, it's maybe it's I didn't really do that on purpose. Avoid to take it off or update it. I just forgot about it. Honestly, I just went on with my life all happy and just left that bad review there, not even thinking twice about it. It's hello, it's their business. If your results are good now, go ahead and go back and fix it and update it. Let people know what's going on. I didn't do that either. So I have gone back already now that, I've gone back and already updated my review. So hopefully that's good. Like I said, almost 200,000 people saw my review. You never know how your review can affect a business. So I hope this doctor's doing well. Like I said, if I ever make some money, I would get just a facial, whatever, just to go support him and to say, thank you and apologize for what I did, because I never meant to hurt his business. He's a great person. I want you to take a look at the bigger picture here. So every negative review we post has the potential to hurt someone's livelihood, to hurt someone's business. A restaurant might lose customers. A salon might have to close its doors because, depending on how small or big the business is, like, things could happen, especially in a bad economy like right now. Businesses can close their doors real fast because of a certain review. And like, these aren't just businesses, they're like people. There's a person behind every business, and this person, these are people with families to feed, employees to pay, and dreams they're trying to achieve. And so if we make life harder for other people, life's gonna be really hard on us. That's why my life is really hard now, is because I wasn't kind to other people. I wasn't understanding enough to know what my review could affect, like how my review could affect a business and the business owner's family, right? Because this is their livelihood. So let's remember that, like, nobody is perfect. But we all make mistakes, and just like we hope for second chances in life, we should extend that grace to others. Just know that someday it could be us making the same mistakes. And if we are not understanding toward others, when it's our turn, people are going to make it hard for us to a point where they won't forgive any mistakes that we make. And you know what? It's kind of like, I watch a lot of movies, and sometimes it's like, the kid that you used to pick on in high school might end up being your boss or something. So it's one of those things where it's like, treat people kindly, because you never know what they're going to be and what power they have later on in life. You never know, right? So the next time you feel like writing a nasty review, take a moment, think about the impact your words might have, and ask yourself if there's like a better way to handle the situation. Always work with the other person to find a solution. If you're going through something that you're not happy with, communicate, talk to that person. And this could also be applied to your personal relationships. Like, if you're not happy in a relationship for whatever reason, just communicate that to the other person. Let them know, because if you don't communicate, nobody's gonna know what you're feeling. If you're at a business, let the server, let whatever people know, let the manager in charge know, so that they could fix it for you there and then. If that doesn't happen, contact them privately, afterwards, the owner or the manager, and try to resolve it that way. And most likely they will go ahead and try to fix the problem. If you had to give feedback, if you had to write a review, make it constructive feedback, and make it constructive feedback. Like, use your words wisely. Now, if this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. And let's start a conversation in the comments, okay? Like, have you ever written a bad review? Like, do you have bad reviews, nasty reviews lurking out there on the internet regarding a business? Like, do you have any? Ask yourself, look within yourself and figure out if you have those lying around. Those nasty reviews could be affecting a business, could be causing a business to close. And have you ever written a review where you've regretted it? Let me know. And if your experiences have improved with a certain business, go ahead and update it, because these are people's livelihoods. Like, these are people's lives here that we are dealing with. And someday, one of us here could be a business owner, and we'll never know when our business could be dependent upon, when our business could be dependent, when the success of our business could be dependent on these people, like these reviews. Remember, our words have power. See, thank you for the surgeon. If you guys are wanting to do plastic surgery, like, nothing can stop you. Even though, like, in my case, like, if I had to tell anybody, I would say, don't touch your face, love yourself the way you are, don't have surgery if you don't need it. Unless it's for a functional reason, then don't touch your face at all. But if nothing can stop you from getting surgery, you're gonna have surgery anyway. Let me know if you want to know who my doctor is, who my surgeon is. I will recommend my doctor to you if you need. But yeah, take care, and just know, use your words wisely. Be a builder, not a destroyer. Okay, so take care and see you in the next video.